What is up, guys? Welcome to this new video. Today we are going to create an awesome overlay stream package, and we are going to do that with the help of Photoshop. So first of all, I would directly go into the Photoshop and create a new file. This will be the overlay which we'll be creating. This is just a sample, so we'll be creating the complete stream package. So first go into the Photoshop and click on File, click on New, and make sure that width is at 1920 and height is at 1080. The resolution can be at 772, it doesn't matter, and make sure the color mode is at RGB color, and we'll straight away click on create, and we'll unlock this layer, and this layer will be named automatically by the Photoshop as layer 0, so we'll make sure it stays the same. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure the color is black here, the selection of color, and I'm going to quickly press Alt backspace so that we have a clean black background. So the next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the pen tool. I hope this doesn't get the sharp edge somewhat. We are going to create the shape which will be somewhat like this. This is a random shape. You can pretty basic, you can create anything. So I'm going to click on this new layer here, plus icon, and I'm going to select this gradient tool and make sure the color is at yellow or some color which you like. So this is here, and this one is a bit towards the lighter side, as you can see. With the selection selected, I'm going to just insert the color somewhat like that. We have a random shape over here, so I'm going to quickly create another random shape which will be over here, and this will be a random shape again. Yes, so I'll make sure the edges are not so sharp. Okay, this looks completely fine. So I'll click on new layer again, and I'm going to select the gradient tool, and I will, for now, I'll just do one thing. I'll just save this gradient for our future use. So I'll just save this as yellow 1 and make this one new here. This is here, and I'm going to select another gradient right now, this one, press OK, and I'm going to fill this shape with this layer. So we have a sharp edge here, so I don't really like sharp edges, so I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to create another layer on top of that. So this one, select here and grab somewhat like that. So this will be our new shape, and I'm going to insert the same color and drag this layer below somewhat like that, and just drag this one. Yes, this looks perfect, and I'm going to quickly merge these two layers. Press Ctrl E and select the gradient tool again, and select this complete layer, and using gradient tool add the color again. So I guess this looks perfect for me with the shapes. I'm going to create a few more shapes. And this shape, one second, this shape to right to like drag them somewhat like that. Yeah, that is perfect. So, and also this one just towards the edge somewhat like that. Okay, we have some pretty weird looking shapes. For now it may look very different, so it's alright. So we'll just select all of these layers and call them as background PG. So next thing I want to do is I'm going to create a rectangle using highlights. So Ctrl R will turn these highlights on. So I will insert this one here somewhat straight, drag this one here somewhat like this, and the next thing we are going to do is we are going to grab a rectangle and create something like this. And for now, just drag this one here outside And for now, I'll just choose the color as black and rasterize this layer and unhide this for now. So the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to add a like whatever you can call it's a dust layer on top of this background to make it more realistic. So I have this set of things which I'll be using in this project. So all the items which I'll be using, the links will be provided in the description, so make sure you check them out. So we are going to use a grunge here. So I'll be using this grunge, maybe this one. Yeah, this one seems pretty nice, so I'll drag this one here. Control T and drag this one somewhat like this. That's looking pretty nice. So drag this one on top of the background layer, which is layer 0, and click this and right click and click on create clipping mask. And we're going to select the blending mode somewhat to soft light or hard light, and turn the opacity to down like for 34%. Seems perfect for me. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to select the rectangle layer, and we are going to create a rectangle that we have already created. So this is our rectangle. So we are going to add a grunge on top of this as well, or maybe a texture instead of a grunge. So I'm going to go to this textures here, and I'm going to quickly grab a texture which I'll be using. This one seems perfect for me. Drag this on top of the the rectangle, and rasterize this shape. Okay, let me quickly unselect the rectangle and we have this shape, and I'm going to just rotate this, and 90-degree seems fine, and Control T and resize this to fit the screen completely. Maybe that was too much, just a little bit more so that it fills the complete canvas, somewhere like this. Yeah, I guess it's perfect. So we're going to right click and click on create clipping mask. This should be done on the rectangle that we have created a while ago. So create clipping mask, and boom, we have this beautiful texture on top of the rectangle. So we are going to change the blending overlay somewhat to, again, maybe we'll keep this one on normal itself, and we are going to turn the opacity down like for 33, 54. I don't know, maybe like for 40 looks perfect. Yeah, this looks perfect. So we are going to go create this a new folder and grab the stuff whichever the rectangle needs into one separate folder. I'm going to call this as rectangle. So we're going to create a layer on, we're going to select the rectangle tool again, and we are going to create a small rectangle which is very tiny, somewhat like this, and select the color as white. As you can see, this is like very thick. Yeah, this looks perfect, but we are going to reduce the size a little bit as well. This looks perfect. So I'm going to rasterize this rectangle and go to this gradient tool again, select the white which we have used for our shapes, and select this one, and click on control and select the rectangle and fill the whatever rectangle with the gradient. So I'm going to just resize this one, just drag this rectangle on top somewhat like that. Yes, that looks fine. And we are going to duplicate the rectangle using Control J and drag that one a little bit downwards, somewhat like that. I guess it looks perfect. Yes, so yeah, we have our rectangle already. We're going to unhide this whatever grids we have. So the next thing what we are going to do is we are going to insert some random shapes which are some random rectangles again, and I'm going to fill this one with white and let it be there. and duplicate one other rectangle and turn this into a square or something using shift, somewhat like this. Resize this one, put it here, and the next one we're going to duplicate this layer and duplicate this one and just, drag this one here somewhere. Okay, 90 degrees. We are going to resize this one somewhat like this. So these are some random shapes. So I'm going to just quickly rasterize them, all the layers, and I'm going to select this one first. Let it be, and I'll select the color gradient and fill this with the same as this white. And I'm going to select this one and go to the gradient tool and go to the yellow color and add the yellow gradient to that, and just go here and select this one, add the white gradient, or maybe yellow gradient looks fine. So I'm going to drag this one again, just drag this one here, insert this one, oh shit, sorry, just drag this one towards the end, place it here somewhere like that, and let it be the yellow color. I'll just turn this one to white, and yeah, that's it. Again, I'm going to go into my pack and I'm going to grab few more patterns which needs to be inserted behind the background. So maybe this one looks pretty nice. So we're going to grab this one, and oh shit, so not here. We're going to grab this one and here onto this layer. 1 second. Yeah, this one onto our project. Make sure you always save your project before heading further, because that way you don't end up losing a lot of files. So we are going to add this one here, maybe just drag this one on top of the background layer. Yeah, that's looking cool. Maybe turn the opacity a little bit downwards, somewhat like for 60%. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I like it already. Maybe just insert one more here. Or maybe here on the here, I don't know. So one more on top. Fill as much as stuff as you can so that it looks nice. Okay, this looks nice. So we're going to save it first before furthering. I'm going to call this one starting soon. And we are going to add some few more stuff. Maybe some random shapes. This one looks pretty nice. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. So we are going to add this one as well here on top of this layer, and we are going to reduce the opacity somewhat like 22%. Looks perfectly fine for me. So I guess that's it for the background. So we are going to add the character. So I have already downloaded the character, so I'm going to just grab this guy here. I just downloaded him I just got him. So we are going to click on blending options, and we are going to turn on the drop shadow for like 30% bevel, add some bevels so that he looks pretty cool. I guess he's placed perfectly. So the next thing we are going to add is the text. So I'm going to create a new folder and call this as character. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to add the text. So I'm going to select the text here and type stream and make sure the color is somewhat which is visible. It's going to select the color for now as white. Okay, so I'm going to write stream is starting, that's all. So duplicate this text again, just write this one here, reduce the size somewhat like that, and type in is. Fill the text is a bit bigger, so duplicate this text again, grab this below somewhat like that, call it starting, and I'm going to rasterize. 1 second. So we are going to align the text first before rasterizing, and just drag this one here. And I'm going to create a separate folder for these texts. Call this as text, and just grab the folder here. So yeah, I guess this is looking nice again. I'm going to quickly rasterize this, or else add a gradient to the text directly here. This one, yeah, this looks pretty nice. And we have our text ready. I'm going to drag the character bit towards left, somewhat like that, and grab the text to the right here and make sure it's a little bit bigger. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to select the starting text, and I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to make it bigger. First of all, I'm going to make it bigger, somewhat like this, and we are going to give it the color same as this shape. This is this one, and press OK, and we are going to just here somewhat like that, resize on control, go to select and click on modify, and we are going to contract, and we are going to contract it by 2 pixels. Press OK, and I'm going to select the polygon lasso tool and right click on this, and we are going to, first of all, before proceeding, we are going to rasterize the text layer, and we're going to do layer via cut so that we get this very nice, only border which we are going to place on top of the background. This already looks pretty nice according to me. So I'm going to just insert. 1 second. So we are going to drag this one on top of the starting. We're going to place it here somewhere or top of this, maybe here, and drag this on BG layer somewhat like that. Yeah, that looks perfect according to me. Stream is starting. Maybe put it here. I don't know. Wait, we are going to see. Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit, like, yeah, that looks perfect. And drag another one here somewhere. Just, rotate this one and put it here so that we have text running around. I guess this looks pretty nice for now. The next thing we're going to do, I guess our starting stone overlay is completely ready. So once we have the final complete overlay, we're going to create a new layer plus and select the brush tool and click on the white color and do this, like create a light kind of brush, like make sure this brush hardness is at 0 and insert a white color here. You will have this cool white, flare coming on from top, and we are going to do the same for downwards here as well. We're going to reduce the opacity somewhat like for 40, maybe not 40, 52. Yeah, that looks perfect. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to quickly call this one as light. We are going to group all the folders into a separate folder and call it as starting soon. Control J, Control E, filter, camera raw filter, go to basic, and we're going to just drag this, play with this thing so that we get the best output as possible. Just randomly dragging these ones so that we get the perfect output for ourselves. A little bit vignette, hey? That's I'll just press OK, and we have this very cool looking overlay for us ready. And we are going to create another screens as well very quickly. So I'm going to click on new and create another one and call this one as ending soon. Now I'm going to just quickly copy the duplicate the background layer, duplicate group, and send it to the new ending soon temp project file. And we are going to delete these text first. We are going to use the same background here. We are going to do stuff a little bit different on the ending soon screen. We're going to create another rectangle which will be somewhat like this here, and the color will be at black, and we're going to place it here. Okay, this looks perfect. And I'm going to rasterize the layer, and I'm going to duplicate the layer again and create drag the resize the rectangle a little bit like that, and we're going to drag this one below and click on blending options, gradient overlay. Yeah, and we have the gradient over here. So I'm going to resize the layer as much as possible so that we get the perfect border. So you're not going to use the complete border, so I'm going to erase few parts from the border. So click on the eraser tool and make sure the brush hardness is at 100%. I'm going to resize the brush, and we are going to cut few parts, like that. Just do it randomly so that yeah, it looks cool, I guess. Yeah. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to grab the texture and put a texture on top of that rectangle here and put it on top like that, and create this one as a clipping mask. We have the whatever main section here, and we are going to call it as, we are going to change the opacity like for, I guess maybe, yeah, 33%. where I'm going to just quickly group all of these layers into one particular folder called as rectangle. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to insert a image of any particular game or anything which you like, or maybe it can be of yourself. Doesn't even matter, it's all your personal choice. You can literally insert anything. I'm just using these as example. So we're going to use some random image which will be suitable for our project. So I'm going to quickly save this one, and I'm going to add this one here. Okay, so this is pretty big, as you can see. So I'm going to just drag this one here, and we're going to insert this one on top of the rectangle, and make sure this will be a clipping mask. Yeah, that looks completely cool. We're going to resize, or like we're going to just make sure this fits. Yeah, it is looking pretty awesome according to me. So I'm going to click on the blending option on the folder and give it a drop shadow, a little bit drop shadows on wall like this. Press Ctrl S. We have this very pretty cool thing here. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the text. I'm going to type in ending soon. So we are going to just, I'm going to separate the ending and soon from the text. So maybe create a separate layer. I'm going to choose the color as the yellow, same that we used before. Yeah, the text is looking perfectly normal for me, and I'm going to group them into a separate folder called as text and drag them somewhere here, more like this. And I would like to create another rectangle so that we can have a placeholder for the text. I'll do this in separate layer, like on top of the rectangular folder. So we are going to create another rectangle, somewhat like this, and choose the color as black. Okay, we have chosen the color as black, and we are going to grab the same texture and grab this one here. Make sure it fills the rectangle and click on rasterize and create clipping mask, so we get this cool texture on the rectangle. And we're going to reduce the opacity a little bit downwards. Yeah, that looks pretty nice according to me. And we are going to create grab those both items into one folder called, I'll call this as text placeholder. We have basically the text over here, and what I'm going to do is next I'm going to duplicate the ending text and just do the same, just grabbing the what is select. I'm going to select the ending, select modify, contract by 2%, and layer via cut so that we get only the outline. So I'm going to just grab this one here. Yes, more like that. Reduce the opacity for 22% and grab this one onto the background, top of the background, and just be above the black layer. I'm going to duplicate that one again, and I'm going to place it here. One more. Maybe that looks cool. I don't know. Yeah. So we have our ending soon screen ready. This is pretty much it for the ending soon. We're going to just add the same light, this one, duplicate group on top of the ending soon layer, and we are, I guess, almost ready. Drag this on top. Yes, we have created this awesome overlay ending soon. So we are going to group all of these into one separate folder, call it as ending soon layer 0. Yes, then we are going to duplicate these layers again, and we are going to press Ctrl E, right click, create, convert to smart object, filter, camera raw filter, and we are going to mess up with these settings as we did before to obtain a better quality, like better quality image, or to increase certain elements. I guess this is looking pretty similar to the starting soon layer. So I guess our starting and ending soon is pretty much ready. We are going to create another intermission screen. So follow the same settings and create another layer. And we are going to duplicate the starting soon background again once more. Duplicate group onto new untitled one, and we are going to call this one as intermission screen. So the next thing is layer 0 delete, and I'm going to delete these text which are not of no use. Bit. Okay, now since we have the background, we are going to quickly create a rectangle which covers the entire canvas. I'm going to create something like this and select it as 1920 and height as 1080. We have this complete canvas cover with the rectangle, and I'm going to select I'm going to select the fill as no fill, and I'm going to create a border for it, like for 15 pixels, somewhere like this, and choose the border as white. And we're going to, I guess the border size is too much, 15 is too much, I guess. Use it somewhat like maybe 8. It is perfectly fine. We are going to resize this one and place it here. This will be our face cam or anything, any screen. And yeah, I guess this is perfectly aligned. For now, I'm going to duplicate another rectangle and fill this rectangle with a color which is of black. This will be temporary so that we get the idea of what kind of size we have to insert. This is perfectly fine. So the next thing what I'm going to do is rasterize the rectangle which is on top, and go to the gradient tool and select the rectangle and insert this white gradient, which looks perfectly fine. And I guess we can add few more things for this, but I would like to keep it simple. You can add a lot of shapes on top of this layer, this face cam layer. it's completely depends on you. So maybe I'm going to just give a white layer somewhat like this, and yeah, control enter, and we're going to just fill it with white for now. And I'm going to drag this one here and below and make sure this fits the, yes, that looks perfect. And I'm going to select the gradient tool, give it the gradient same as the top layer, and we basically have this layer, but I want to erase some part of it, so I will select the gradient lasso tool and just select this part and choose the eraser and just completely wipe that off. I'll just grab this one a little bit right. Yeah, this looks perfect for me. So the next thing I'm going to add is your name, or like your username. You can add anything. So I'll choose the color here as black, or maybe this one, this color. Let's see. For now I'll choose it this as black. I guess black is perfectly fine for now. And here you can insert your screen or gameplay, whatever you want. So I'm going to create a chat box. Before creating a chat box, I would be grouping these into separate folder. I'll call this one as facecam / screen, and I'm going to just call this one as facecam / screen text, and we are going to create the chat box now. So this will be our chat box, and I'm going to choose the color as white. This will be our temporary color again. We will be choosing a different color. So after choosing white, I'm going to rasterize this layer again. So we're going to add the same color, gradient color here. Press Ctrl and add the same gradient color. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. And I'm going to select the blending mode to, maybe I'll keep it at normal for now, and I'm going to reduce the opacity very much, somewhat like 95. So this is where you will insert your chat box. So I'll just duplicate the rectangle and resize this one somewhat like this, and take this on top, and I'll call this one as, I'll change the color here for the gradient yellow. Press OK, and I'm going to turn up the opacity. Oh shit, I changed the color for other one. Gradient. We have this cool color, so changing the opacity to 100%. The next thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a black rectangle on top of this to separate them. Maybe we don't need that background. I'll just select the top layer, and I'm going to do some stuff on this. We're going to select the pen tool and click here, and just, you know, do some edge shape somewhat like this. Select, go to lasso tool and layer via cut, and delete the other layer. Maybe just fill the other layer with the gradient which we used before, which is cloud. Press OK. Yes, that looks pretty nice. We are going to do the same towards the other side as well, or else just grab this, duplicate the other layer here, this one, and grab this one here, flip horizontal. Boom, we have this, you know, kind of shape, which is pretty nice according to me. So we're going to type a text on that. First of all, before doing it, we're going to group these layers and call this as chat box. And I'm going to create another text here and call this one as chat. Yeah, that looks perfectly fine. And I'm going to put this into a separate folder, call this as chat text. Then we're going to create another rectangle, and which will be like somewhat like this. Yeah, and fill this with the black color. Just grab this rectangle towards the edges. Yeah, that looks perfectly fine according to me. Rasterize this layer, and we are going to go to the my pack, and we are going to select the texture again, and I'm going to drag the texture on top of the rectangle, and we are going to rasterize the texture and create it as a clipping mask. So we have this very cool, texture on top of the rectangle. When we are going to raise the opacity to somewhat around 46 or maybe 62, looks perfect for me. And I'm going to merge these both layers into one and give a little bit of drop shadow to differentiate it from the background. Yeah, that looks perfectly fine according to me. Give it a bevel maybe. And we're going to add text on top of that. So intermission. Choose a text color as white for now, which will be temporary, and just drag this text here. Maybe I'll just separate the text in two parts, enter, and duplicate the text again. Call it as mission. So we're going to rearrange the text once more, intermission, and we're going to change the color of this text to somewhat different, maybe the yellow again. We're going to follow the same pattern which we are using. I guess this is the intermission screen. It looks perfect. We are going to create a new folder for all the items we have just created. Well, I'm going to call this one as rectangle text placeholder. Text. I'm going to call this one as main text. I guess our intermission screen is perfectly ready, and we are going to just grab the light folder and place it, duplicate the light folder and place it the intermission screen, and we have it. It looks perfect. So I'm going to just grab all of the folders and create a new folder and call them as intermission screen. Maybe the light is too much for this layer. We're going to turn down the opacity a little bit. Yeah, 38% looks perfectly fine for me. So we're going to duplicate the intermission screen, Control E, and create this as a convert to smart object. We're going to go to camera raw filter and adjust a few of the settings. Okay, we have our intermission screen ready as well. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to export all of our layers so that we can insert them into OBS. So I'm going to export these separately and make sure the layer is at PNG. So to export, you can just quickly go to File, Export, save for Web or Legacy, and make sure the preset is at PNG24 and let it complete the loading. We're going to save it here I'm going to create another folder called as new overlay, starting soon, save. Similarly, we can save the other two images. We're going to do the same for the two images. Okay, we are going to quickly insert the overlay onto your OBS. So I'm going to create a new scene. Call this as starting soon. Plus icon, media source. Sorry, click on image. Sorry, click on image only. This one, press OK. Browse. And I'm going to select the overlay. This will be our starting soon. And this will be our ending. And this will be your intermission. So you can just place your video here on top of this. So I guess that is it for the tutorial on how to create a complete stream overlay package. You can create other like B-Rise back and other stuff using the same techniques that I used, which is pretty much simple. And if you have any questions, please comment down. And if this video reaches 100 likes, then I'm going to release the PSD file for this project. All the extra stuff which I have used in the project will be given in the description already. But if you want this project file, whichever I have created now, you have to complete 100 likes. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and comment and also subscribe for more such videos. Thank you.